I feel like there's a lack of maturity when people seek out those type of songs, and not like an immaturity in like mental immaturity. I think it's an immaturity in their relationship and understanding of who God is and his character.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, when you know, Proverbs says the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord, right? Not to be scared of him, but that word fear actually means to reverence and awe, to understand his character. The closer you get to understanding his character and who he is, the closer you get to wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, when you have that in your head and you understand he is an all-sovereign, all-powerful, all-knowing, loving, merciful God, which is also 100% justice, righteousness, holiness, and wrathful, because he has to also have wrath because he is just, and you understand what you are in comparison to him, dead in your sins, slave to sin, no work can please him except through Christ's work on the cross, and then you understand his grace and mercy through those lens. I'll tell you what, a song that treats Jesus like my sugar daddy or boyfriend, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if I thought Christ was my boyfriend. That's a whole nother subject. But
exactly.
you get what I'm saying. When a worship song treats him like that, it feels such lacking in foundation and truth and understanding of who God really is.
Yeah.
And for me, I can't even those songs that do absolutely nothing for me. I can't. There's, you know, every worship song that I sing, I want it to be uplifting and glorifying to him.
Right.
You know, that's why I had a phase where just, you know, for 2 or 3 years, I went back to hymns, just in, not even, you know, it wasn't the IFB hymns where it was probably
great,
just
man, you know?
just an organ and a vocalist.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's artists out there, you know, Shane and Shane, Eddie James does a whole album of just him and a piano on hymns.
Oh, that's great.
You know, Shane and Shane, the same thing with 2 guitars and 2 voices. And even Jars of Clay years ago redid some hymns. And I mean, they sound contemporary, but the words are so powerful. I heard a preacher, and boy, I wish I could remember who it was, but it stuck with me for years. He said, the difference between secular music and Christian music is secular music, it's all about the sound. Christian music, it's all about the words.
Yeah.
And I went, there's some truth to that. Now, there's exceptions to the rule, but generally, that's what we're doing. Where, you know, corporate worship isn't necessarily about the music.
Right.
The music does help, created by God and for his glory, but the words are usually what's so important, and uplifting words. I mean, you go back to, you know, you read about these hymns and how they were written. You know, when we were talking about John Newton, you know, Amazing Grace, slave trader, owned slave boats, you know, took guys and basically beat them in the club in the shins until they couldn't walk anymore. I mean, just a total wretch.
Yeah.
Got radically saved. Wrote, you know, Amazing Grace. It saved a wretch like me. 2 days before he died, he said, my memory has faded, but 2 things I do remember. I was a wretch. I'm a horrible sinner, but God's mercy and grace is greater.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, he died. So he had this whole thought of who he was, and then how God saved him, and who God was in relation to him. And out of that, we get one of the greatest hymns of all times.
Yeah.